Welcome back to Hump Day with Hollywood Hay at Saratoga today. Coming off of OK Day yesterday at Hawthorne. At Horseshoe, Indianapolis. I had a couple of nice long shots, pick into a nice pick four. Paid over $2,800. We'll take that. Let's see if we can build on that action today, Terry, over at Saratoga, out in the beautiful countryside of what was it, like upper central New York. I don't know exactly where it is, but it's definitely a nice town.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
absolutely. It's also nice when you get free stuff, right?
Yeah, it's Saratoga Springs, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a vacation spot. They say you can survive the 40 days of the horse racing. It's just the 40 nights that are difficult to survive. Yeah. Belterra is our free track today over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link down in the description below. Please use that so they know where you're coming from. And the first race, a maiden claiming $7,500, the 10 horse. Some are blessed. Indeed, that is true. Hopefully we are all blessed today. That is the top pick there.
Well, the 10 did win and the 9 ran second.
Well, there you go. So we are indeed blessed. Maybe it's a good omen for what's about to come for the rest of the show. And then, of course, after the show is over, head on over to horseracingtoday.net. Like you see, Terry posted our comments, our picks from yesterday's show, along with a replay of the video. It looks just like this, as you will see. There's the replay, and there are our picks and our notes. At the same time, hit that HRT gear, especially if we hit another one of those $2,800 type pick fours, or the $4,800 one Terry had about 2 weeks ago. I mean, we're paying for that stuff. So go on over there, get 15% off, along, hopefully, with a bunch of winning picks today, Terry.
I hope so, yeah. Yes. I like the today. It looks good to me.
Well, every day at Saratoga looks good, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about this first race, although, but I'm sure you got some. Well, you're going to share with us the conditions, although we probably don't really understand the hurdling conditions, but of course, we'll always try our best.
Yeah, it's a 2 3/8 mile turf hurdle handicap for 4-year-olds and upward.
Yeah, you're jumping over fences, folks, with the horse, riding a horse. I once rode a horse that wanted to jump over a fence. It wanted to do it on purpose. I certainly didn't want it to do it on purpose. He wasn't interested in a race. He was interested in a young filly training up on the hill. And I was really contemplating if I should just jump off, and would it be better for my life to jump off or hang on for dear life? I wasn't sure. Yeah. We don't have any data. We don't have any simulations. We don't really have any rhyme or reason to pick. At least I don't, hurdlers, Terry. I'm sure you have a rhyme or a reason, some thoughts why you picked your horses, but go ahead and make your picks, and you can just see mine right there.
All right. I like the number 4, Zarek the Brave. He comes in from France after finishing in the money in 4 out of 5 career races. Then I like number 6, Pick a Number. He ran second in his debut start, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I like the 3, Aban. He has won 4 races out of the last 5 starts, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then I like the 1, Too Friendly is my long shot. Comes in from England after finishing in the money in 5 out of 11 career starts with 2 wins. And what we get is a $100 budget each day. We bet $2 to win on the first pick, $1 exacta box on the first 2 picks, a 50-cent trifecta box on the first 3 picks, and a 10-cent superfecta box on the first 4 picks. And then, like today, there's 9 races times 840, so it leaves us about $24 to bet elsewhere. So there you go.
We also did today, because there's a $107,000 pick 6 carryover. We took a stab at that one too, Terry. Well, I figured the best philosophy for betting jumpers is just pick a number. And lo and behold, I looked up and there was a horse called Pick a Number. And I said, you know what? That's got to mean something. So I picked the number. How about that? Took its advice.
All right.
I mean, hey, sometimes I know people who bet kids' names. They bet birthdays. They bet, certain combinations. Hey, when the 4 wins, the 6 always comes in second. I bet the gray when it's wet. There's always some sort of philosophy behind picking a horse. And I've seen just as many of those work as so-called experts that I've seen on TV, read in books, or even watched when I rewatch our own videos, Terry.
Yeah.
All right. So the second race today is where the thoroughbreds will go to work. And what are they working for here?
All right. In this second race today, we've got a 1 mile optional claiming race. $45,000 claiming price if you'd like to put your horse in there for that. Purse is $100,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, foaled in New York State and approved by the New York State Registry, which have never won $20,000 twice other than a maiden, a claiming, or a starter, or which have never won 3 races, or an optional claiming price of $45,000. Lots of information.
Indeed. You have to have, what are those things called? An abacus to figure out if your horse qualifies or not. So we used the Brisnet data sheets right here, past performances. If Cinderella's Cause was available for purchase, you would see a $45,000 right here. It's not there. So when you're using them, that's how you know if the trainers have put them in for a price. Amity Island is indeed a horse that's available. And that's way below Terry's budget. That's lunch money for him. He's looking more for, dinner, trying to impress the customers, the clients kind of price tag for Terry. As far as our simulations are concerned, we do 10,000 of them around here, Terry. But before we do that, we always identify the profile of a winner, the sort of horse that gets the job done. At 1 mile on the main course, 29% of the time, the horse that gets the lead never gives it up, goes wire to wire. It is best to be in the front half of the field. So stalkers, they do win the lion's share. There's a rail bonus for Cinderella's Cause, the horse we saw right there that's not in for a price. 2 and 3, they get kind of smacked around a little bit. Terry, 4 through 7 a bonus, and so far nobody from 8 or out has won. That's not an issue in a 6-horse field. 10,000 simulations. We want to know who has a chance to get to the lead or the best chance to get to the lead. Based upon our simulations, which horses will be running a race inside their comfort zone. Q30 score. This is something we introduced last week. We read out of James Quinn's book, a horse that gets 30% of the potential, of all the possible query points for any particular race. That horse you can bet blindly. You can see Cinderella's Cause coming close to that 30% mark. And then we want to find horses that have a chance to run a race at par or better for this level. Another Brisnet number there being 93. That's the average winning speed figure for a horse under these conditions. And finally, everybody wants a deal, Terry. So we're looking for horses with value where our simulation odds are lower than post-time odds. What does this story tell you here?
Well, the 3 shows the most speed, followed up by the 4. So they could go head-to-head to that quarter pole. And that 5 has an overlay from 3.5 to 1 to 6 to 1. The 1 is the only par plus number, and all of them show a C zone.
And on the C zones, normally we want to see a score above 50%. That means at half of the races in our 10,000 projections, horse did get a comfortable pace that fits their running style. Here, speaking of running style, we do trip handicapping. There are no horses that absolutely need to be a pilot, so nobody's lead dependent. The 4-horse Echo in Eternity can be a pilot or a co-pilot. The 6, Crystaller, wants to be a co-pilot. These 3 right here, they're PC types. They can close, they can pressure. Many of them can be on the lead too. And of course, the 2-horse is a closer. We don't see any in here either. There aren't any first-time starters, and everybody has been within 5 lengths of the leader in their last 10 races. At the early speed, Terry, that does look like 2 of them will set the tone. The 3-horse, Midnight Lights, and the 4-horse, Echo Eternity, although really not a big gap from these 5 right here. So you could be first, you could be the thumb, or you could be the pinky when they get going. Late speed belongs to Cinderella's Cause, a little bit quicker than Crystaller, which is a little bit quicker than Amity Island. Only one that doesn't fit in is the speed horse, Echo and Eternity. Finally, our top total pace. Most of the time, the winners come from the top 4, about 72, 73% of the time. But in this case, there are 3 that are at least 5 points ahead of everybody else. Very strong chance the 1, the 6, or the 3 is going to win, Terry. Which one do you think it'll be?
Well, I like the 1, Cinderella's Cause. She ran second in her last 4 starts, so she's been knocking at the door. She has the highest last speed rating, and the rail post winning 22% clip. Then I like the 4, Echo and Eternity. She won her last race at Saratoga, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then I like the 3, Midtime Lights is my third choice. She has won 2 out of the last 3 starts, drops in class today, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. The 5, Saratoga Kisses is my long shot. She finished 3rd in her last race, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. No additional bets for me here.
So real quick, right now, well, have they run yet? It said they're off. I think they're still walking around, but I can't tell. But in any case, it looks like they're lining them up for the jumper race. Real fast, I got the 3-horse. Midnight Lights is the only horse in this field that has a recent run that hit par. That was 2 races ago. That was off of the bench just like today. Cinderella's Cause in the money, 11 of 13 races at the distance, does get that rail bonus that we discussed in the profile of a winner. And all of the race internals last time improved out from the beginning to the middle to the end of the story. Echo and Eternity, the 4-horse, has one race at Saratoga. It was a career best performance. That was the last race. It has some really nice workouts in between. So maybe an emerging horse for the New York course. And finally, you got to have a horse named Saratoga at Saratoga. Saratoga Kisses. Could improve in the second start after a layoff. The first time in, I think, about 24 months, something along those lines, 12 months, making consecutive starts, meaning the horse probably finally back to healthy. No bets for me either. Let's take a look at what's going on with the jumpers, Terry, because, yes, indeed, they're off and running.
All right, good.
Pick a number is the number right now. It's on the lead, Terry. Very good way to go about making a pick. The 7-horse is in second. I don't know how many times they go around the track, but looks like they may or may not be coming to the finish line. I have no idea because they're coming around the turn.
I don't think so. I think there's a little bit longer than that. So
yeah, well, they're coming at least by the finish line the first time, then I would suppose. So the 6-horse is about to leap over the first gate, and he does so, kind of clips his feet a little bit, runs a little. Oh, the 4-horse
fell.
That one's day is done.
Yep, that was a favorite. That was my horse.
Have you ever seen the Grand National?
I have.
30 horses doing the same thing.
Yeah, I saw it on TV.
Yeah, it's like a bumper car. It's like it's what do they call those races? Like a smash up derby or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of those horse racing. Well, the 6-horse continues to hold the lead. The 7-horse had a big price sitting in second. The other 2-horse, another big price horse in third. And then the 8-horse, yet another large price. The 6-horse continues to set the lead. I think they're coming down the backside. They're going to make the turn one more time and then run for home. The 6-horse did clear the hurdle much nicer last time out. See if he gets it better this time. Boom! Yes, nice and clean. Everybody nice and clean. And down the backstretch they go. They're all pretty tightly mixed up in here. They finally corralled the 4-horse. He still wanted to race. They had to go get that guy. Over the fence they go again. A little bit of a sideways action from the 6-horse. Down around the corner they come as they make their way from home after this tiring affair. Pick a number. Still is the right number to pick, at least so far. The 7, the long shot, Going Country, is going along in second place as he has for the entire race. Kiyomori will need a little Mori at the end of the race to score the W. Around the corner they come. I think they maybe have 1 or 2 jumps left. I don't have any idea how all of this works. But the 6-horse, pick a number, is your leader from start to finish, at least so far. The field is starting to converge a little bit on that front runner there. Over the fence they go. And I think this is the sprint to the finish line. I think, Terry. That's not really sprinting, though.
No, I think they still got a ways to go.
They got another lap?
I think so, because this is a long race, 2 and 3.
Holy hell. Well, there they go around again, Terry. So no sprinting there. They got to be getting leg weary. I can't imagine that pulling the cart all the way around the track. It's got to be tiring for pick a number.
I'm sure it is.
I can't imagine. Can you imagine race calling these races every day of your life? Like if you're a professional steeplechase caller?
No, I couldn't do it.
The 7-horse continues to be in second place. The 2 has Kayamura fall off a little bit. The 5-horse now, Jimmy P, making his presence known. That must be what the P stands for in Jimmy P. He is now riding in second place. The 6-horse, everybody continuing to clear the hurdle there with some ease. They're really starting to bunch up, trying to bang around each other a little bit for positioning. Looks like the 5-horse is pulled up alongside the 6-horse. In fact, he has edged out in front of pick a number.
Sure has.
And it looks like he's about to just run away with this bad boy.
Looks like the 6 is running out of gas.
Yeah, it's got to be hard to pull the cart the entire way. So we picked the wrong number apparently there. The 5-horse looks like a runaway winner. Jimmy P at, I think he's going to come with 6-1. Is anybody else even coming? Looks like the 1-horse is maybe the one that's going to come give it a chance. Tough
7.
to tell. Is that still the 7 in there? That 7 ran a pretty solid race there, no?
He has, yeah.
Well, the 5-horse is going to be a runaway winner. Looks like Secretariat He is the Secretariat of 2 and 3/8 mile jumping over the fences. And they think is going to win by what? Let's see. How many? He's pulling up now. Jockey's waving to the crowd.
Yeah.
He's all happy.
25 lengths, 30 lengths, 40 lengths, something like that.
And there comes another horse, and then the 3. All right. That was something.
Yeah, it sure was.
All right. So now that that's out of the way, we can move on to a race that we have a better sense and a little bit easier to call, perhaps. Maybe not the best call. Race 3 is the beginning of the first pick 4 of the day, Terry.
Yep.
And so what are they racing for? And then we'll talk about our pick 4s.
Okay, it's a 1.16 miles on the turf. It's an optional claiming race, $80,000 claiming price, purse $120,000 for fillies and mares 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won $20,000 3 times other than maiden, claimant, starter, or state bred allowance, or which have never won 4 races, or which have not won $45,000 in 2024, or an optional claiming price of $80,000.
Yes, we need the Evelyn Wood School of Speed reading for these conditions. You remember that Evelyn Wood class, Terry?
Yep, I do.
Yeah, that was on commercials. If you haven't, how old do you think you have to be to know what Evelyn Wood is?
Oh, you got to be at least 55.
At least 55? Yeah, I mean, I'm 58, so I'm in that at least category.
Yep.
All right, so at 1.16 miles on the turf for this optional claiming affair, you want closers, Terry. Only one of the 14 horses that have raced at the distance have managed to find the winner's circle on the lead. So much like pick a number, get to the front, and you might pick your way all the way to the back. The best place to be is outside. So the farther you are from the rail, the better off you are. And the inside 3 horses, they do tend to underperform, play a little bit under par. Speed doesn't really matter. It's not what you want necessarily here, Terry. But if there is one horse that's going to go wire to wire, it's pretty evident who that will be.
That's the 8. That 8 has lots of speed, and it's on the outside there. The 4 has an overlay from about 4 to 5 to 8 to 5. 9 has an overlay from 4 to 1 to 10 to 1. All of the horses have C zones, but look at those 2 100 top percenters.
You mean on the par pluses?
I mean par plus. Yeah. 4 and the 7. And then 8, 3, and 6 show the par plus, but there's a 30% in that Q30.
Yeah, for the 6 and the 8. Looking at this 8 horse, maybe we're going to get 2 out of 15 going to wire here because it's got the strongest C zone. It wants to be on the lead. It's going to be on the lead, and the pace that it sets should be comfortable. Does garner one of those 30% scores along with 30 thou Kelvin, 30 going together. Our race shape for the 3rd race. You got a lot of speed horses in here. Most of the horses want to be forward. The 6 horse, 30 thou Kevin, does have a little bit of versatility. But when the gates open, turf starts flying. It shouldn't be so close at the beginning as the 8 horse has more than a length advantage over everybody else through the first quarter mile. 8 horse is going to be your leader in all likelihood. Everybody that'll be trying to run it down will begin with Midnight Mile, another closer that has the most late speed. A speed horse. 5 points or a length better. Every 5 points equates to about 1 length. Also, the top total pace horse with Midnight Mile. Watch that birdie. Strikingly spun in Immenstitude. Those 4 are your top 4. Really, the only one that doesn't look like it fits in here is that 6 horse, 30 thou Kevin. Is 30 thou Kevin your top pick, Terry?
No, I like the 4 Midnight Mile. She ran second versus Tougher in her last race, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And I like the 7 as my second choice, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. She has a bullet workout on August 2nd. Then the 3 Blissful is my third choice. She finished 3rd versus Tougher in her last race, drops in class today, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. I did pick the 6 as my long shot. She drops in class today and switches to a high percentage winning jockey, 30 thou Kevin. And I'm going to play my first pick 4. It's going to be a 3-4-7 with the 1-3-7 with the 2-5-6 with the 1-5-10, which is a $40.50 ticket.
I'm going to start with the 7. Immenstitude as my top selection in here. This one drops from a grade 3 stakes race. Seems to have taken really well to the Toga turf based upon her workouts. Does have a Group 3 win in France, which is a level that should fit nicely, probably better, a little bit higher than the caliber of a race that she's running today. Midnight Mile, the 4-horse, all 3 of its races since coming over to the United States, probably good enough to win. But this one just seems to just lack that final oomph to get to the finish line first, missing by a neck, a head, by a length. So maybe a professional wallpaper hanger. Number 8, Not So Close. This one might be able to get away with an easy pace on that lead, as we've seen from all of our simulations, the pace numbers as well as the race shape. The only time that this horse ran at Saratoga on the grass, Terry, it was on the lead, and guess what it did?
It won.
Wire to wire. That's where you're going to see Not So Close today. Then finally, Blissful. The resume says for the 3-horse, second start after layoff, should improve anywhere from 3 to 6 speed points, which makes it a serious contender for the W here as well. I was just going to do the 4-7 only for my pick 4, but I figured, you know what? The way the pace sets up, I'm going to toss the 8 in there as well, just in case. And then go 1, 3, 5, 6, go 1, 2 into third leg, 1, 6 into third leg, and then 1, 5, 10, and 11 in the final leg, which is all a bunch of first-time starters and probably really merits the all button, but I limit the amount of money we can commit to a pick 4 to $50. Next up, Terry, is race number 4. What are we racing for?
Okay, it's a 1-mile race. It's a maiden race, $100,000 purse for maidens and fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
Race number 3, Morning Line, Coast Containment, Good Magic, Cat Dancer, Chat Brown, Joel Rosario, Claret Stables, a horse that Race Masters is going to back today. So 1 mile, we talked about 1 mile a little bit earlier. It does favor horses that are middle forward, although nearly 3 out of 10 win on the front. There's a rail bonus for Lord I Wonder, and Lord, don't we all wonder at times. 2 and 3, a little bit of a discount. 4 through 7 gets a bonus. 8 and out so far. Nobody has collected the winner's check from out there, Terry. Speed, once again, going to be a big factor. Who's got it?
That number 1 horse, the inside horse, has all the speed in the world. Then the 6 shows an overlay of about 2 to 1 to 8 to 1. None of them show par plus numbers. And the 3, 5, and 7 show the best show CZOs.
As far as the race shape is concerned here, Mr. Terry, we do see pretty competitive stuff in here. You got a chance for this to be a little bit of a barn burner maybe early on, especially since speed is the way to win. One horse should get the lead, but let's see if the race shape favors any other. Well, there's really not a lead-dependent horse in here. Everybody really wants to be middle back. So in this case, when we see a picture that looks like this, more often than not, the horses that move forward do have a best chance to win. So far, Tipple not been within 5 lengths of the leader. The most 2 versatile horses in here are the 1 and the 3. Lord I Wonder will be your pace setter on the rail, about a length quicker than everybody else. Nobody to clear. Should have its way early on. At the end of the race, it does look like Helsia will be coming hard, does have a 1-length pace advantage at the end of the race. And really outside of the 1 horse, competitive for one of the co-pilot spots. As the race comes to a close, once again, we have 3 horses, the 1 to 3 to 5. The odd number horses, not including the 7, considerably better than the rest and pretty much all about the same. Perhaps one of those 3 is where you will find the winner. It's also the beginning of the pick 6.
Yeah, it is. I like the number 1, Lord I Wonder. She ran second versus Simmer in her only start. The rail post win in 22% clip. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey and a good workout on August 8th. And I like the 3, Coast Containment. She finished third versus Simmer in her only start. Has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 29% of the first route race that a horse he trains competes in. I like the 7 as my third choice, Islander. She finished third versus Simmer in her only start, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 6 is my long shot, Refused to Lose, finished in the money in 2 out of 3 career races. Her best third speed is fastest among today's starters, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. And I'm going to play that $1 pick 6. I'm going to use the 1-3-7 with the 2-5 with the 1-5-10. I'm going to single that 1 and 1-8 entry. I'm sorry. I'm going to single the 3 in the next leg, and then I'm going to finish up with the 139. It's $54 ticket.
Well, it won't take long for one of us to be out of this because we have one horse that we agree on in the first leg, no horses in the second leg, and then in the back of the ticket, only one horse. So maybe put our tickets together, folks.
Yeah,
and
it might
end up
be
with the winner. That might be the way to go. I'm going to start with Helsia as my top selection in race number 4. That's where we are now. Helsia gets the top pick for me because this horse has improved in every single race so far in its career. Going to get first-time Lasix today, so that improvement should continue, and that juice could be the difference maker. Lord I Wonder is a potential +5 early pace setter in here, with second race improvement being enough to catapult that horse into the winner's circle and the rail bonus. So a lot of pluses in Lord I Wonder's column. Cost containment, another horse in here with second race improvement. Really, the 1, the 3, and the 6 are all essentially in the same exact spot in terms of their performance and what they're looking for in the second race to win. Any of them improves more than the other in the second up, and they're likely to be your champion here. Refuse to Lose is a Churchill downshipper. Same exact story as I mentioned with the 1 and the 3. Some strong 5 furlong workouts. In fact, a bunch of them for trainer Steve Asmussen. I don't think there's any question that horse is going to be fit. I would probably like to start with all 4 of those, but I'm going to go 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 10, 11, 3, 7, 4, 11, and I'm going to close it out with a single in the 3. And I think my ticket's $48, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
And I gave us a $60 budget. I wanted to give Terry a little present today.
All right.
Middle race of the card, race number 5 is the one we're going to do now.
Okay, it's a 1.16 miles. It's on the inner turf. It's a $125,000 purse. It's a New York State for fillies, 3-year-olds, foaled in New York State and approved by the New York State Registry.
Yeah, this non-graded affair does favor horses that have a little bit of a closing ability. They've run 19 races so far, most of which were won by stalkers and closers. Only 3 of the 19, still a decent number going wire to wire. Once again, we find a rail bonus for Brocknardini. 2 and 3, those horses get absolutely hammered. So definitely something to consider in your handicapping there. 4 through 7 play fair. The 8 and out horses also get a bonus, but not quite as much as you see with the rail horse in there, Terry. So speed can be useful, particularly if you have a lot more than everybody else in race number 5. There's one horse that has a lot more, but everybody except for the 2 has some chance, or the 6, to get to the front.
That's right, but that 9 has the most, and it should get to that quarter pole first if it breaks. Okay. The 5 has an overlay from 7 or 8 to 5 to 10 to 1. Nice one. The 7 has an overlay from 4 to 1 to 5 to 1, and the 9 has an overlay from 4 to 1 to 10 to 1. All have a par plus, but the 1 is kind of low. And then all but the 1 show C zones.
Yeah, so you got, again, looking for 50% or more. You got a couple of them here with Bossy Jeans. If you're new, it's because the C zone is in our simulations, 10,000 of them. How frequently they ran a race that fit nicely in their comfort zone. Par plus in our 10,000 simulations, how many times they ran a speed figure equal to or above par figure. So 7,420 times. Money grab. Grab the speed figure of at least 80, according to Brisnet. A lot of horses, it looks like, have a good chance in this race, Terry, to get that non-graded stakes crown. The 5, 7, and 9 want to go forward. The 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, they want to close. So pretty straightforward here. These guys get to the front. These guys hope for a strong pace and run by. These guys try to keep the pace limited and stay up front. Red Burgundy, Broccadini, Bossy Jean. So of all the closers, the one that can slip over here towards the front runners is Broccadini, the rail horse, which also gets that rail bonus. At the end, Summer Whirl, awesome check, money grab. They have the most late speed, really top that list with Summer Whirl, but that one could be considerably behind everybody else. Your top total pace horse in here is Awesome Check, then Summer Whirl, and then you really very tight mix in there from behind. So once again, except for maybe Downtown Channel, it's a race where being bumped or going wide can be the difference between finishing first or maybe finishing 7th. Who's your winner?
I like the 2 Summer World. He won his last race at Saratoga, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And I like that 5 Bossy Jeans. Won his last race at Aqueduct, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey as well. The 6 Awesome Check is my third choice. Won his last race at Saratoga and likes this distance. And then the 9 is my long shot, Red Burgundy. Won 3 starts out of the last 4 races, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. No additional bets for me here.
I'm going to start with Awesome Check. Should sit 3rd or 4th, right where she wants to be, and has some of the most late speed in the race. We'll have, I think, the best trip of every horse in the race today. Brocadini, the 1 horse, only made a second start after layoff once in its career before, and it took a tremendous jump forward. Half of what she did in the only other second up affair would put this one as a major threat to run into the winner's circle for a photo session. Summer World, Terry's top pick, gets my 3rd selection. Could be unbeaten in 3 races, but had just a little bit better racing luck. And then Money Grab, the 7 horse, has the potential to explode forward or backwards. This horse has a lot of volatility in its second start after a layoff. And that's why I put it forth, because at its best, it can run by all of these. At its worst, could be at the very back of the pack. Now we move off to the beginning of the late pick 4, Terry. That is race number 6. This should be a fun one.
Yeah, it should be. It's 5.5 furlongs on the turf, a maiden $90,000 purse. For maidens, fillies, 2-year-olds, foaled in New York State and approved by the New York State Registry.
And with 2-year-olds, Terry, what can happen?
Anything, any one of them.
Anything. Yeah, this is an all race. No, if you were at the track, what do you do with these 2-year-olds that are all first-time starters?
Well, if I'm going to play a pick 4, I'm going to go all.
You're going to go all. How about if you're just straight? Do you pass on these races for like exactas?
Yeah, I do. I pass them. It's just too much unknowns in here. So,
with the help of E-Ponies, I chose number 6, Awesome Check, in the 5th. All right, well, at least you're sharing your thoughts with us. If, like horse racing 2024, you have any ideas of who's going to win any of these races today, whether it's at Saratoga, it's at Belterra, where the 10 horse did win. And it's the free track today, a guaranteed tip sheet with the link down there in the description. If you just have some handicapping angles that you found are working for you of late, anything, you got to ask a question from Terry and I, or you got some suggestions. A lot of the show layout and the way we do things is as a result of suggestions. So at 5.5 furlongs does favor speed, Terry. Michael Jordan, 23% of the time they go wire to wire. You still want to be in the front half if you're not on the lead. There's a rail bonus for Kara's Dreamweaver. 2 through 7 play below par. 8 and out in this case is the very best place to be. No simulations, Terry. So that means we only go straight to the good stuff. Give me your picks.
All right. I like the 5 Anna Skull. She's a first-time starter whose breeding suggests she'll like the grass, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and a bullet workout of 5 furlongs on August 7th. I like number 1, Kara's Dreamweaver. She ran second versus similar only race. She has a high percentage winning jockey and a good workout on August 8th. I like the 10 Disco Star. She is a first-time starter whose breeding suggests she will like the grass, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey.
So Disco Star, Terry.
What?
Right? A Disco Star. You were a young man.
Yeah.
Robust young man in the 70s. Is the John Travolta character in Saturday Night Fever, is it modeled after you?
Not after me, but I did like that movie. I watched it. So
did you go to the thing afterwards to the club?
No. I was too busy building my business. But anyway, as my long shot, I like the 7 Young at Heart. She's a first-time starter whose breeding suggests she would like the grass. Her breeding suits that the sprint distance is in her favor, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'm going to play the last pick 4. I'm going to use the 1, 5, 7, and 10 with the 1, 3, with the 2, 3, with the 1, 3, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's a $48 cost. If I had more money, I would have went all in that first leg.
And you maybe want to go all, looks like, in the last leg too, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so I think that movie came out in like 1976. I was 10 years old in Easton, Pennsylvania. And I remember like there was like this murmur about how racy the movie was, and all the young kids wanted to go see it because of how racy it was. They said it's almost rated X for it seems. And now when you look at it, like stuff on TV is more more graphic than what Saturday Night Fever was like. At least that's my opinion. My opinion for the race, I'm going to go with Princess Fiona from a much different movie, Shrek. Princess Fiona. For me, I grade all these first-time starters on a scale of 3 maximum points. Princess Fiona gets the best, 2.8. So she's got the best combination of workouts, trainer hitting in the first race off in its career, as well as its breeding. Next up is Disco Star, the 2.6 point first-time starter. Kara's Dreamweaver is the only horse in the field that does have any racing experience. And quite frankly, if that horse improves at all off of its debut, it might be difficult for any of the other first-time starters to beat that one. And then finally, the 5 and the 8 were a tie for me. Anna Skoal and Mischief Lady both scoring 2.5 points. That's why I included all 5 of them in my pick 4, Terry. Then went 3, 4, 7, 10. And then I went 4, 11. And then just the 3 and the 8. And if you remember, I just singled up the 3 in the back end of the pick 6. So adding one in there on that. Race 7, 3 races to go for us today, Terry, at Saratoga. Of course, tomorrow we will do Saratoga again about the same time. So to make sure you don't miss that show, Terry, what ought to folks do?
They need to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that little bell so they're notified about when there's a program coming up. Go ahead and copy the link down below and share it with your friends, neighbors, relatives, everybody you know, so they can come and check us out too. I know they're going to like what they see. And then go to our social sites such as Facebook, Threads, X, Instagram, and whatever at Horse Race the number 2 day, and give us a thumbs up and a like. That'll help us out with the algorithms.
Yeah, any interactivity. So after the show is over, we'll post all of the race times. We'll stamp them in the description here on YouTube. So, when race 9 comes, you might forget what what the simulation showed or what the pace showed or something that you thought Terry said made a lot of sense that you want to reconsider. There's nothing I say ever makes sense, but you might want to come back and look at that and we'll timestamp that. So you can come back and look specifically race by race by race as the day develops. For 6 furlongs, Terry, on the main track there, what are they running for?
Okay, on the main track for 6 furlongs, they're running for, claiming race of 12,500, purse 35,000 for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward.
And for 6 furlongs, early speed, probably the most prevalent of all of the distances we're covering today, with a bunch of them. 36%, Jerome Bettis going wire to wire. I can't see that guy going wire to wire. I think he's just run over everybody. Like if he was in that first race, instead of jumping over the gates, he would just run right through them. Big time rail bonus for the rail horse. 2 to 7 play under par, but still the 8 and out is the best place to be for race number 7. So if you're a Buffalo girl on the outside with some speed, Terry, you got a good chance. And this is another one of those races where plenty of them have a chance to get to the front.
They sure do, but that 4 has the most speed on the inside there, and then the 7 follows up on that. Could be a head-to-head to the quarter pole for those 2. And then the 7 has an overlay from almost 5 to 1 to 8 to 1. The 8 has an overlay from about 6 to 5 to 8 to 1. And then the 10 has an overlay from 7 to 2 to 15 to 1. 8, 10, 7, 3, and 2 have par plus numbers, and they all show C zones.
Yeah, again, another one of these races, really no standout, really any place. And here's a lot of ways you can make a claim to the winner's circle from the simulations. Maybe we can get a little bit of a clue. Well, only one horse really in here. 2 of them are Sesame Street horses, the 7 and the 6, a lone closer. You get these lone EP horses, they are extremely dangerous because they have a lot of versatility in a field where almost half of it or more wants to be middle back. The 7 can let these 4 go out and burn, or if they go too slow, can say, I'm taking charge. So it's got a lot of versatility, as do the 1 and the 8 at the beginning of the race. Everly's Girl, that is the speed of the speed with that 7 horse right there in that stalking shotgun position, exactly where it wants to be. If you're looking for a closer because they all go too fast early on, Our funny business, that one is about 10 points better than the next closest horse, meaning 2 length advantage for a lone closer. So all of this group up here decides to get after it and tear for it because early speed matters. But that 6 will be sitting really pretty with all that late energy. Again, in these deep fields, you're looking for your top 4 picks. There they are, Terry. 75% chance the winner is going to come, about 73, excuse me, from that grouping. Terry, you started here with the 25% chance grouping.
Yeah.
Why do you like the 1A?
I like the 1A because she finished second in her last race. She has a trainer, wins 19% of the races in the second race after claiming a horse, and she has a good workout on August 7th. And then I like the 3 as my second choice, Fontana Breda. Anyway, she finished in the money in 4 out of her last 6 starts, winning 1 of the starts, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Then 7, Wilford Desire is my third choice. She finished third versus Tougher in her last race. She has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 33% of the time when dropping a horse off a claim, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. And then I like the 10. It's my long shot, Ghostly Girl. She won her last race at Saratoga and can handle the distance. No additional bets for me here.
I'm going to start with Wilford Desire. That's that lone EP horse. Look out for those. This horse can be the pace setter, could sit right off the gate. And I think in a deep field like this, Terry, having some versatility is a very useful tool in your toolbox. Number 3, Fontana Freda. Lowest level in its last 10 races, cutting back from 7 furlongs to 6 furlongs could be useful. Ghostly Girl, the 10 horse, a long shot. I agree with you, Terry. One with a good chance. Maybe this one is a horse for the course. It's ran at Saratoga 2 times and won one of them, finished third in the other. No other track that the horse is 100% in the money. And then Condiment Girl, the 4 horse in there. Most upside in the race, Terry. Signs of life in its last outing, showing more late race enthusiasm. Does have a solid workout sense, and many times I've seen horses that have a big increase in their late speed come out and run very well, carry it over to the next start. Race 8, the beginning of the late daily double, probably the last one we'll be able to cover before race number 2 starts running, Terry. So let's go through race 8 fast so we don't miss any of the action in race 2.
Okay, it's a mile of inner turf, purse 110,000, and it's for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 20,000 other than a maiden claiming starter or state bred allowance, or which have never won 2 races.
That was good. That was an example of the Evelyn Wood speed reading lesson. All right, at 8, at a mile in the inner turf, kind of horses that win are stalkers. Only 7 races so far. One of them gate to wire type. A small rail bonus for Miss San Gabrielle, the mountains right outside of Terry's house there. 2 and 3, those horses have been absolutely demolished. 4 and out, best place to be, and really no difference if you wear a 4 or you wear a 14, Terry. So speed, again, kind of helpful in here. Not a lot, but can be useful. Who has it?
Yeah, several of them have it. The 3, 7, 9, and 9 have the most speed. Let's see. And then the 4 has overlay from about 4 to 5 to 7 to 2, or 4 to 5 to 2, and then the 9 has an overlay from 9 to 1 to 15 to 1. 4 has the most or the highest par plus number out of all the ones that show par plus numbers, and all but the 4 show a C zone.
Yeah, got that big here. That's a big number for a Relavidita, whatever the name of that horse is. So our pace shape and our pace handicapping. Bunch of horses want to go forward. There's another one of those lone EPs and another lone PC. Those 3 and 7 could be really dangerous. Tons of speed here. Maybe a closer is the way to go in this race. At the early part of the race, so you can see it going to be kind of contentious. All of these horses within 13 points. That's about 2.5 lengths. You get bumped, you get forced 3 wide, man, you could be first and you could be worst. As far as the late speed is concerned, that's probably where this race is going to be won. That 4 horse, Revelati, has the most of it, about 3/4 of a length quicker than Zirarati. So either end with an A or an I, and you got a shot to win this race, it looks like. Our top total pace picture, again, 4 horses, well above the rest. The 2, the 9, the 4, and the 1. Any one of those, Terry, as your top pick?
My top pick is actually a long shot. I'm going to go for a long shot, and it's going to be my best bet of the day. 3, Destiny Star. She finished third versus similar in her last race. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And I like the 2, Beats. She won her last race at Aqueduct, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And
Can I ask you, do you really like beets? Is that a vegetable or a food? What is that thing?
No, it is. It's a food. It's a vegetable, and I do like them. Yeah.
Well, I can't stand them. Anyway.
I like them in my salad. Anyway, August 6th, she had a nice workout. And then the 4 is my third choice. She finished third in her last race. Her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I like the 1, Miss San Gabriel. She finished second in her last race. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. She's my long shot. And I'm going to bet $14 to win on the 3, a $5 exacta, 3 on top with the 2-4.
Maybe you should go 3-3 daily double, because I like the 3 in the next race.
Yeah, maybe.
At this race, I like the 4 horse, Revalita. I think that one potentially has the most upside in the race here. All but one race for this one coming in from France would be a winning effort versus these horses. Preliminary, the 11 horse. This is a sneaky one that you have to kind of rewind a little bit. Absolutely faced the best competition in this field. Been off for more than a year, though. What I find interesting is trainer Chad Brown, clearly the best trainer out on the East Coast, or at least one of them, took this horse directly from its maiden win in its debut straight into a grade 2, and a high-level grade 2 at that. Typically, he's pretty adept at placing his horses, especially on those aggressive rises. He knows he has a horse there, but something went wrong in race 2 and race 3. They sidelined the horse for a year. They're bringing it back at a pretty high level. Nowhere near the greatest stakes it was running in before, but watch out if this horse is anything close to what Chad Brown thought it was last year. Beats. I can't stand him. Terry loves him. Second race improvement. Terry will love the horse, especially if he finishes second behind a 3. First time Lasix should be enough to make sure that that horse does improve in the second career start. Second race improvement. Zioretti, the 9 horse, is my final selection in here, Terry. Should be coming at the end. And what I like about this horse is at times shows elite late pace, bordering on triple digits. First on the turf for me is the only question that horse has to answer. No bets for me. Maybe race number 2, people are about to make their bets final in just a moment because they are loading into the gates. Your favorite right now is the 3 horse, Midtown Lights. And that one is going to go off at 1-1, down from the morning line of 9-5. The second favorite on the choice there is the 1 horse, Cinderella's Cause. And they're off and running in the second race of the day. Looks like a pretty clean start for everybody. And according to the announcer, I forget his name right there, he says that Midtown Lights is hard ridden out of the gate. So maybe a little bit too much effort, like the 6 horse in the first race, to make sure it gets the lead. I don't think it was really necessary for it to do that, because we did show that it had the most early speed in there. The 4 horse, Echo and Attorney, the other one we thought had some early speed, is right there as well. A horse that's going to get a difficult trip perhaps is Chris Taylor. That one right now is stuck perhaps 3 wide going through the turn, because the 4 is probably going to stay between the 3 and the 6 and not give the 6 a chance to clear and box it in. Down on the rail is Cinderella's Cause, the 1-1, but it just kind of got blocked out by the 4 horse there. The 6 horse in that wide trip, going to find it difficult, starting to back up and tire a little bit. The 4 horse, Echo Eternity, is giving the 3 horse all it can handle as they come around the corner. Went from the rails, going wide, making up ground. The jockey on the 3 horse, though, is taking a look between its legs a couple of times there. Got a feeling he thinks he's got a lot more horse there. Around the bend they come. The 3 horse ended up as your 1-1 favorite. The 1 horse is trying to make up ground. That was your morning line favorite, but it's starting to wobble down the stretch. Still trying to make up ground, however, as the jockey's trying to get that horse to change leads. The 3 horse, the jockey's really trying to will that guy to the finish line as he came out to herd the 1 horse. It will go 3, then it'll go 1, then it'll go 4, and I think 5. 3-1, 4-5. You know what that is, Terry?
No, what is that?
An ice cold.
Oh, that's right.
Superfecta, baby.
3-1, 4-5. I didn't even look at that. So
yeah,
I was concerned about my 1.
You might get a dime back for your dime bet on that one.
Well, my one was getting tired, so that's why it was wobbling, I think. So
yeah. Well, I think the jockey was having a hard time getting to switch leads.
yeah.
And I don't know if he ever really did. In case you're new, Terry, explain what switching leads means.
Well, if you're on the left lead and you come into the stretch, you want to switch to the right lead so that it's first instead of the left leg being first. So
yeah, so Terry gave me a good idea. Beets in a salad also. You put kidney beans in your salads, Terry?
I do. And I put garbanzo beans in there too.
Oh my Lord. Horse racing 2024 and Terry Hay, a new combination. They're going to start a new show, the Foodie Hour with Horse Racer 2024 and Terry, and they'll mix in picks, and their picks will be based upon food-based names. that could work as well. All right, the last race today at Saratoga is the 9th race. Again, tomorrow Terry and I will be back. I have no idea what Tom and I are going to do for Foreign Friday. I kind of like it that way because then it's a surprise. It's sort of like Christmas in the middle of August. The last race, Terry, another quick sprint on the turf.
Yeah, it's 5.5 furlongs. It's an optional claiming race, $35,000 claiming price. If you elect to put your horse in there to possibly be claimed, the purse is $70,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for a claiming price of $50,000 or less, and which have never won a race other than a maiden or a claiming price of $35,000, or which have never won 3 races.
Once again, making Terry work to describe the conditions here. 5.5 furlongs in the grass. It's going to favor horses. You can imagine speed. 23, Michael Jordan going wire to wire. There is a rail bonus for Botelli. 2 and 7 are post 2 through 7 do play below par. 8 and out is the best place to be in the final race of the day, particularly if you have some speed. It looks like the only horse without a chance to get to the lead is Typhoon Fury. Terry, but one maybe a little bit quicker than the rest.
Yeah, all of them but that 6 does show speed, but the 3 shows the most speed, followed up by the 9. And then the 1 has an overlay from 2.5, almost 5 to 2 to 6 to 1. And the 11 has an overlay from about 8 to 5 to 4 to 1. The 8 shows 100% par plus number, but several of them have par plus numbers. And they all show some kind of C zones.
Yeah, nothing is 100% in this world. But in our 10,000 simulations, the 8-horse Hilarious Affair ran a speed figure of at least 83. So that's got to mean something, Terry. Our race shape tells us for the final race of the day. Look at that horse over there, Terry. That 3-horse is a Lone E. It's the one we said is going to be out on the front in this race. Everybody wants those Lone E types, Terry. I think that's important. Also, it does have the most early speed, a little bit of tied there with final verdict. That one's almost all the way on the outside. So going to have to clear a lot of horses with some similar early pace. Could make the task for the 9-horse to get to the lead difficult. And quite frankly, probably doesn't want the lead. Probably rather sit in a shotgun or co-pilot position. So I think they'll cede the lead to the 3, which is where that one wants to be. At the end of the race, Hilarious Affair, the one that has 100% chance to get a par figure here. So we probably just put it down to 0 for today. That one has your most late speed. It and the Magnificent Mile right here in Chicago, maybe about 2.5 miles from me. Those 2 are your top total pace horses. Here are your top 4. Again, the winner very likely to come out of that grouping. Terry, finish off with your last group of horses.
Well, I like that 3 Java Buzz. He won his last race at Saratoga, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Then I like the 9 Final Verdict. Has finished in the money in 9 out of the last 10 starts, so he's very competitive. He won 4 of the starts, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. I like the 1 Borlela. He has finished in the money in 5 out of the last 7 starts, winning 2 of those, and has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. The 10 Feathers Road is my long shot. He ran second versus similar in his last race and has a high percentage winning trainer. I have no money left, so I can't bet anything else.
I have $24 left. I'm going to bet it all on that 3-horse. Again, in James Quinn book, the complete handicapper. Because anytime a horse gets a Q30 score all by itself of 30 or above, you can bet those horses blindly. Fortunately, we're not betting them blindly, but they do produce a positive ROI. I'm not betting it blindly because it is the Lone E horse, as we see here, so it wants to be on the front. Does have the most inside speed, much better than everybody else, except for the 9, who, again, probably would rather sit shotgun. So very likely to be your pace setter in there, Terry. Does have a high par plus score. So I think that one gets to the lead and has a very good chance to go wire to wire, which approximately 1 out of 4 horses do at the distance and surface. Number 8, Hilarious Affair, is a top total pace horse that is 6 points clear of all the turf entries. I'm a little bit curious, though, in here because the 11 horse, Terry, is in this race as an MTO. And they didn't cancel that one out, which have they done that yet?
No, they haven't. And that was really odd. I was looking at that myself thinking, well, why is that horse still in there? So
yeah.
Wait a minute. They did. They
did finally take it out?
They finally scratched it, yeah.
All right, so I'm going to change this here then to the on my trifecta. Instead of the 11, this is going to be the 7. I put him in there because I wasn't sure, and I'm also going to put him in here in my the key box as well. The 9 horse is the third selection for me here. Final verdict, just missed last out after showing better early pace and better fractions, usually a combination that points to a better race the next time out. And now taking that 11 out, which also secured a bunch of those Q30 points, Java Buzz's Q score is going to go up another 3 or 4. It's going to be over 40%. And then finally, the rail horse, Borletti. Won the last 2 times he raced anywhere close to the level he's running at today. This one's not in for a price. Remember when we had Richard Hazelton on our podcast, The Player's Edge? He had mentioned that he always tries to, being the son of a trainer, interpret the trainer's intent. That's something that's stuck in my mind ever since that show. You can search for it on our channel, Horse Racing Radar TV. I would go back, honestly, if you haven't. I know we've stopped doing them, and maybe someday we'll get back to doing them. But we learned so much information from our guests. So I would really go back and watch those Player's Edge podcasts or the Horse Center shows where we had guests on from the horse racing industry. And I mean, they shared a ton of secrets with us. Anyway, 50-cent trifecta, 3-8 over the 3-8-9 over the 137-8-9. $1 exact the key box, 3 with the 1, 7, 8, and 9. I'm going to put the rest of my money on there, and I think there's $10 left on that 3 horse to win because you can bet them blindly and turn a positive ROI. Here are our full picks for today, this hump day with Hollywood Hay at Saratoga today. The opening race was won by the 5 and then the 3 horse. Here are our picks for the rest of the day. Terry, any final thoughts from you? And then we go off to prepare for tomorrow's action at Saratoga.
Yeah, just keep safe today and be good to your loved ones. Just have a great day and hope to see you tomorrow.
Yes, as always, we are strong advocates of making sure you tell those around you that you love them, treating people the way you want to be treated. And of course, as always, we hope that all of your endeavors, your life dreams are indeed blessed with God's grace and God's favor, and every single thing that you do from today until we meet again ends up in our favorite place, Terry, and that is
the winner's circle.
Indeed. See you tomorrow for day 2. Terrific Terry Thursday at Saratoga.